During his service of last 25 years in IIT Warangal, he served in various administrative roles such as professor in charge of Center for Innovation, IPR cell, in charge of Internet and Telecom, member of Institute Master Committee, nodal officer of NTN Network, nodal officer of Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan, and principal investigator communication, popularization and extension of Vigyan Prasar under development of science and technology. He led several community service initiatives on ICT tools education for the rural youth and rural girl students, etc. Currently, he is also professor in charge of engineering project services and innovation garage. He is a senior member of IEEE, member of Antennas and Propagation Society, Signal Processing Society, fellow of Institute Engineers, IETE, and life member of ISTE, and a member of International Association of Engineers. He has guided 7 PhD students and currently guiding 12 PhD students and 12 postdocs in the areas of antenna design and wearable and future wireless applications, synthetic aperture radar image processing, underwater communications, etc. He is a popular speaker in science and technology related topics among school and education circles. He is the winner of IET Gold Medal Research Award along with colleagues. He has visited and has international academic relations with University of Malaysia, Pellis, Khalifa University. So without any further delay, let us welcome Professor L. Anjaneyulu sir to speak up some words. Sir, please.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that nice introduction. Uh, yeah. So these are all first year students. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Good morning, all of you. It's a very great day for me, and then I have the privilege of talking to all of you today on some of the uh, great topics. Okay, and the topic of interesting, and I hope you all really enjoy the talk that I'm going to give for next maybe 90 minutes. So this topic is very interesting. Yeah, I'll just share my screen, please. Yeah, yeah. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So is my screen clear now? Thank you all for attending this session, and then I'll try to be with you for the next uh, 90 minutes or so, talking to you on innovation and IPRs. So this is a quite interesting subject for all of you because you are budding engineers, and then you want to do a great lot in your life, using your knowledge, and then the knowledge that you are trying to gather at IIIT. And then I hope it will be a very enlightening session for all of you. And then maybe we can interact at a later time, or maybe a few minutes towards the end of my session. And then you can always also ping me anytime if at all you want to talk to me, and if at all you have something to share with me later on. So I'm actually hopeful that we'll be having a great session ahead. Okay, so thank you all. So we'll go ahead, and then I'll try to interact with you for the next 90 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to talk the time given to me, half of the session on what actually we mean by innovation, how innovative idea leads to leads to a kind of a startup, and then further, how do you, make up your journey into the, startup world. Okay, so this is the first part that I'll be dealing with, and subsequently in the second part, I'll be dealing something on the intellectual, property rights. Okay, this is a topic given to me. I hope you'll all, enjoy the, you know, yeah. Okay. Um, yes. Um, sorry. 1 minute. Just give me a second. Yeah. Yes. Thank you all. Actually, I can't see all of you on the screen. I'm seeing only my brother, so that's why I switched on another device. Okay, just to make sure that my name is visible very clear to all of you. I just had another screen in front of me. Okay. Thank you all. Um, so let's go ahead. Uh, so is it okay? Are you having any echoes? Please. Yeah. So let's try to understand what is creativity and what is innovation. So as we know that we have a very creative brain, okay, and then much more complex than any machine that we create or we created as on today. Lots of computational power with several millions and billions of neurons interconnected. Okay, so therefore we have to use the full potential of our brain in trying to solve many day-to-day problems, in trying to use our intellectual capability to solve many problems, and then having solutions for the various issues faced by the human endeavor. Okay, so therefore we should stop thinking big, and then we should never say, if I don't have a capability, I don't have a problem inside, I don't have anything in front of me, everything has been invented or innovated by everyone, I have nothing to do, so I'm only looking for an opportunity. No, 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 no excuse, please. So there is something that everybody has to exercise. There are problems everywhere, so that's why you should start thinking big, without any excuse. And this are the quotes by a popular very authentic others, that these things that we need to remember always in our life, especially as a student when you are growing. Okay, so Ken Robinson says, if you are not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come with anything original. Okay, so therefore when you are trying to do something great, many times you may go wrong or you may fail. That doesn't mean that and then you appreciate them that, oh, you are very creative. Okay, and sometimes you say, if somebody is not doing anything, no, no, he has no creative ability, he cannot do even simple things also, like that they say. But actually, you say like that, but we never mean that others are not at all creative. Okay, but everyone is creative. As I mentioned here, their creative ability quantitatively may vary. Okay, but each and every one of us is creative is something that we have to understand. But anyway, there are several ways. If at all you want to improve your creative ability, okay, by some means you came to know that you are not that creative, or you want to improve your creative skill, then what do you do then? How do you improve the creative skills? So there are many things, okay, like preparation, and then incubation. Incubation means allowing your ideas, without judging your idea, that you just do it. I mean, don't tell, but do it is something that we have to understand in incubation. Okay, and then you should have a lot of insights into the problem that you are, and then you have to evaluate. That means you'll spend some time in understanding the problem statement, and then you also try to think how to implement it, and what's the kind of things involved, what material you require, and what are the different ideas in implementing the same thing. There are so many things. Similarly, elaboration. So these are all the abilities. These are all the steps or processes by which you actually you can improve your creativity. So maybe I'll just show you this small video. Yeah, yeah, you can. I don't know. Sorry. Uh, the play button is not coming here. But anyway, I'll just show you here. Uh, it takes a little. I'll just. Okay. This is what actually, creativity. You see the girl, how creative she is. Actually, she wants to sort out the lemons into different sizes. Okay, so same question, if you ask someone, they maybe come out with a very complicated idea of a machine to sort out the lemons in different sizes. But see how creative she is. She used a very simple technique, to sort out the lemons into different sizes. This is what actually creative ability means. Okay, which actually differentiates one from others. Okay, yeah. So therefore, what is innovation? Innovation is actually the way you think, and then you have to add a value to the existing idea or a service model. There are several examples we can give for innovation, right? By which we can actually say that you have a new idea. So innovation always means that it's a value addition to the existing idea or a value addition to the existing service. Okay, that's what innovation means. Okay, earlier people used to go to bank to draw the money, but now we have what is called an ATM card. It's an innovation. Okay, but after that people have come out with different ideas. Now they have come with what is called a debit card, and now people are using credit card. Is also an innovation. You don't have to have money in your account. Even when you don't have money in your account, still you can just go and pay some payments using credit card. So like that. So therefore, and your Paytm, your Google Pay, all these are innovative ideas by which you are able to do daily transactions. So they're straight away examples of what actually innovation means. You are only trying to add value to the existing idea or existing service. Okay, there are many such things, hundreds of examples I can give you what actually innovation means. You only have to use your creative ability to add some value, and then people appreciate, and then using that, if it is a product, if your idea can be transformed into a product, then you become an entrepreneur. You can have your own startup. Maybe I'll talk a little more about it also now. So there are so many things. So therefore, your innovation should lead to whenever required and wherever required. Okay. Of course, this is different from invention. Invention is a scientific invention which doesn't exist. Okay, completely new, knowledge added to the existing knowledge, an innovation, an invention. Okay. Now I just show you, a few interesting examples here. This is an innovation. See, this person found he innovated an idea. He came out with a product idea of designing chapels to climb poles. He's an electrician basically, person who actually had this innovative idea of designing chapels by which people can easily climb poles. Earlier people used to do a cross leg thing, and then sometimes accidentally they may fall and then have injuries and all that. But this person got an idea that to modify the design of a chapel with some iron frame which gets locked to the pole, and then it is easy to climb. So this is what actually innovation means. And similarly, you see, a girl of seventh standard, eighth standard school girl has come up with this idea of to carry the load on the head without affecting the body health. Many times, as you see here, people carry bricks or some load on the head, which actually has a lot of health hazards, having your back and spinal cord pain, because the load gets transferred directly onto your head and also onto your neck and also onto your spine. But now a schoolgirl came with a simple, idea like this, where we can have this, we can carry this on our shoulder and then keep the load on top somewhere here, so that the load never get transferred onto your head, and then you will not have any back pain or a kind of a neck pain. So this is what I mean to say. So therefore, if at all you want to innovate something, that we should live into that problem, understand how it is, and then come out with simple ideas where they can translate into a product ideas. Okay. And these guys, the students like you, they spent some time and they understood how a person makes a broom, broomstick which used to clean the house. Okay, so usually the broom makers take a lot of time. If at all they want to make brooms every day, let us say maybe they can make few brooms every day. But now these guys have invented a simple machine and then gave it to those people, with which they people were able to make a good number of brooms in a given day, so that their daily income increases. So this is what actually you guys have to think. Okay, how do we help the marginal income people in the society with your ideas, with your thinking, and then come out with some innovative solutions so that their life becomes easy, and then you guys can help in increasing their daily income. This is what actually innovation means. Okay, you don't have to really invent and innovate fantastic things, but simple things where you see in and around your society, where you see the people working, and then try to use your knowledge. And similarly, there are many product ideas. I'm not talking about only problems of people around you in society, but you can also have some technical innovations with your knowledge. Okay. Now see this example. Now this guy, this is an innovative idea. It's a normal bike. He just removed the engine, and then in place of the engine, he just attached a battery and a motor, and he converted a normal, IC engine, bike into a electric bike. Okay. So typically, an electric bike may cost more, but this guy has converted his normal bike into an electric bike by just adding, a battery and a small motor. So what I'm saying is, this kind of things are nothing but your innovative ideas. Okay, ultimately, which make you use your ideas, and then finally, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can always become an entrepreneur. I think you had a good time yesterday by Professor Sai Kumar's lecture on entrepreneurship and innovative skills. Okay, and of course, this is another video. Maybe I'll just play it for you. I mean, this is innovation and creativity together. How you see the ideas transform into creative ideas. So this is what actually is adding value to the existing thing, and then you see the way the kind of idea that they have implemented. While playing, they can also produce water. So this is what where creativity and innovation, together can play a vital role in making our lives better and better. Okay. Yeah. So therefore, in the surrounding world, we need to have these skills developed with all of you, and then you have to inculcate the thinking capability, so that you can solve some of the real world problems. Okay. So I have another small video to show you, just make you understand. Okay. Yeah. So this is what actually it means. How do you use your ideas to create a product? Okay. So this guy has a very fantastic idea of converting a normal cycle, to an electric cycle with a very simple idea of an attachment that he designed. So therefore, this is the this is how actually you should see when you have an idea. So slowly your idea, with that idea, if it leads to a fantastic product like this, you have a successful entrepreneur, and then you have your own startup. You can become the CEO of your own company. Okay, all right, and then you can join some of your friends, and then you start your own company with such ideas, and then release your product into this one. So this is the entire the cycle, that you have a problem identification, okay, then ideation workshop that you conduct, and you follow what is called a design thinking process, and then and then you have a presentation of that, and then you can also file an intellectual property right, and you can also have a patent filed on your idea, and then slowly it becomes you become part of your a startup ecosystem. So this is how your idea slowly gets transformed into a startup, if at all you want to have a startup of your own and you have a fantastic idea. Okay, so of course it need not be a product idea, it can be also a process. Okay, a given process or a service, like your ATM card I talked about. So it can be product or a service. So this is how actually you have to inculcate your abilities of your exercise your brain, and then come up with a lot of creative ideas. Okay, so you typically you start with an idea, and then you validate your idea, and then you have a product created, and then you also have a business model for your creation. Then the product is validated, and then your business idea is validated. This is actually the business. Okay, when you want to slowly convert into a big company, then you have a one of you can be a founder or a CEO of your own company. Then you will have your own team, a committed team, and then you'll have validation, and then you'll start forming your own thing. So therefore, business idea to team, it becomes a slowly from startup idea to this one. So typically, what you need for you to have your creative mind to make your ideas into an innovative products, we need an ecosystem basically. It's not only you, but you need people around you to support your innovation. Okay, this is called startup ecosystem. I'm sure yesterday Professor Sai Kumar also would have talked about this. But these are things like your ideas, inventions, and research, startups at various stages, entrepreneurs, investors you need who can give you some money for your idea to become a product. Then we need some mentor, to support your idea, and then give you a lot of technical advisors. So therefore, you all this becomes your innovate startup ecosystem. So with the support of all these things, like your university, funding organization, service providers, research, this whole thing becomes innovative, a kind of a startup ecosystem in which actually your ideas get nurtured, and then you will excel with your fantastic ideas. Okay, so therefore, if at all you want to have a startup framework in your campus or in your college, but we need this. Okay, so these are the four pillars of your startup ecosystem. You need a very good management, you need to have student innovations and student startups working together, so that you have an innovative student enterprise with all these four pillars, like innovation development and entrepreneurship development, technology commercialization, similarly startup service support. When you have all these four pillars in your institute, and with your ideas supported by your authorities, then you can always have a very strong innovation ecosystem in your campus. Okay, so that's my the first half of talking on what actually innovation means. Maybe I can talk for hours and hours on this, but since anyway our time is limited, I'll just stop here at this point of time talking on innovation related things, and then I'll spend some time in talking to you on the intellectual property rights. Okay. All right. I think so far so good. I hope you are all enjoying my talk, and then of course we can always interact today and as well as later on whenever you think that you need my time to interact with you. Okay. So okay then. So I'll go on to my second part of my talk on intellectual property rights. Let's see what are intellectual property rights, and then let us try to understand this. Okay, so these IPRs are related to mostly your ideas. Okay, yeah. So there are different ways of understanding the property. So this is the earlier concept of property. That means we'll say we have a bike, we have a car, we have a house, and then and we have a bungalow, right? So this is actually called a property, but this is generally called a tangible property. So we have mobile and immobile properties. Okay. In addition to these properties, nowadays we also identified a different property which is not tangible. That means we don't see it physically, like our bangla or car and bike and jewelry and money, things like that. but there is some other property called intellectual property. All right. So this is a new concept of intellectual property. Apart from mobile and immobile, we also have what are called intangible assets. Okay, which is called intellectual property rights. Okay. So now these property rights have acquired more importance as on today, and then IPR is an asset for many organizations. In fact, it's an asset to you also. Okay, so when you have this IPR, we will see what are different intellectual property rights, which are basically the outcome of our human thinking, our creativity, our ideas. Okay, so therefore, when you have an intellectual property, it gives an exclusive right to the owner who created that property. Okay, so I think now you understood what actually intellectual property means. Okay, it's a property other than other properties that we have, which is called intangible, which we don't see physically, but it is a property that relate to our human thinking and creativity. Okay, let's see what actually it means. So there is a body called World Intellectual Property Forum or organization, which has defined that intellectual property means it's a creation of the mind. Okay, what are the creations of the mind? Inventions, then literary and artistic works, like we create a movie or we write an article. Okay, or we design some product, and there are some symbols, names, images. There are so many things. So all these are actually called intellectual properties. So we shall see more details of these things. Okay. So therefore, intellectual property is generally we use for in a very broader sense. So it's nothing but it's a kind of a creation of your mind or your intellectuality. So what is the right? That means what are your rights means. Rights, they are generally referred to as I mentioned, any scientific work or literary work, okay, or artist. Similarly, invention in all human endeavor, any kind of invention can also be called an intellectual property. And then all scientific discoveries, industrial designs, trademarks, services, okay, all that. So all these are actually called intellectual property rights. Okay. So let us see more details of this. Okay. So when you say it's my right, what is that it protect? And what way I am protected, or what is this, yeah, IP law means, intellectual property law means. See, like how we have various other laws like civil law and criminal laws, where the lawyers and courts deal with them. All right. So whenever there is some law and order problem about the human behavior, we have the courts, we have the judges, we have the lawyers, okay, who actually go through the criminal procedure code, and then based on that people get punishment. Similarly, what is this law is different. Intellectual property law, for this also there are courts. Okay, that means whenever we have conflicts, and whenever you have fighting due to intellectual properties, then we have to approach an intellectual property court instead of a normal court where we fight civil cases and criminal cases. Okay, so it is basically, since we are saying that we are given exclusive right for our intellectual property. So what is that right you are saying? We are saying that the government grants what is called a legal right to control use of their IP for a certain time. This is what actually it means. It means to say that when your mind creates something, when you invented something, a product or an idea, for that you get some rights so that nobody else can copy your idea and nobody else claim that it is their idea. Actually, it is your idea. Okay, so to prevent others from copying your ideas and claiming that they are the owners of that idea, the government gives you some protection or some legal right, that is called intellectual property rights. Okay, so therefore these rights, IPR rights, are not given for a physical creation but they are given for your intellectual efforts. That's a meaning. Okay, so it's also a law, but it typically varies from country to country, but I'll also mention what we do in our India. Okay, so therefore these are the laws. So therefore IP means it's a property, it's also a property because our intellectual ability is treated as an intangible property, and hence we get rights on that. And there are various intellectual property rights as I just mentioned. And also, like other properties, like I told we have the creators or owners of the these properties to get some exclusive right on that in terms of various things like patents, trademarks. I'll explain a little more about it now in a while. Okay, So therefore, the intellectual property IP is not like a physical property and which cannot be touched or seen. Okay, it's all due to a person's intelligence and hard work. And similarly, like other properties, like say I have a car, I can always buy the car and sell the car to somebody, or I can also use it on rent to somebody else. Similarly, these intellectual properties also can be done same thing. It means I can buy the intellectual property for somebody, I can sell the intellectual property, I can license it, I can also exchange it, I can also give away to somebody. Okay, like other properties, intellectual properties also can be done in a similar way. Okay, so therefore, if somebody else who is unauthorized uses that property, okay, then we can take a legal action by the rights that we get from the government. These are called intellectual property rights. Okay, all right. So let us see. These are the different types of intellectual properties, various types of intellectual properties. One is industrial property. Other one is called a copyright. Okay. And industrial property, we have got again three different varieties called patents, industrial designs, and trademarks. Other than this broad classification of intellectual property, we also have what are called geographical indicators and layout design of ICs, integrated circuits, trade secrets, etc. So all these are different, all different types of intellectual properties. So again, this shows you, industrial properties and industrial property. We have patents. That means one type of intellectual property. Trademarks are another type of intellectual property. Industrial designs, geographical indicators. All these are different types of intellectual properties. I'll explain you little more about all these things. All right. So then there is a separate category called copyrights. So under copyrights, we have what is called works of art, okay, called literature, music, broadcasting, dramatic work, sound recordings, computer programs. All this comes under what is called a copyright. Clear? So these are all the different types of intellectual property rights, and this is the classification that we see here. Okay, so let us see a little more about the meaning of all these things. Okay, for example, you take patents, like how I have shown in my previous slide about each and every one of them. We should just see a brief, understanding. The first one is patent. I'll also talk a little more about patents in my today's talk. Though I will not elaborate on these things except for explaining what actually they means. Now, a patent means, as I just mentioned previously, patent is a statutory right for an invention for you as an inventor, granted for a limited period of time to the patentee by the government in exchange of full disclosure of their invention. Okay, that means when you invent something, what you have to do, you have to prepare a document with including diagrams, figures, and then design details, specifications, everything. So this you have to submit to the government that how you have come up with such invention. So therefore, you have to fully disclose how you have done. Okay, only when you disclose fully instead of keeping a secret in your mind and in a document form to the government, then government will give you what is called rights on that idea. Okay, this is called a patent, and this is only for a limited period of time, as mentioned. Okay, that means let us say the patent is granted for you for 10 years. Till 10 years, nobody should copy and use that idea to produce products using your idea. Okay, if somebody copies and produce a marketable product using your idea, you can always take a legal action on them because you have got a patent granted by the government. This is what actually a patent means. Understood? So I'll talk more about it further after a little while. Then similarly, second one is a design. Okay, design means it's a product design. It's a diagram. Okay, like a shape, configuration, pattern, or something. Okay, where others it can be a two-dimensional, three-dimensional. Others cannot copy that design. Similarly, trademark. Trademark means it can be a symbol or a name or a signature. Okay, this is also another one. I'll give more examples of this. Similarly, copyright. Copyright means usually we get for for a, let's say, a movie has a copyright, or if I write an article I get a copyright, or if I create a drama or a song, if I write a song on that song I get a copyright. So for all the artistic works we get what are called copyrights. This is another form of intellectual property right. Similar geographical indication. Typically for the goods, let's say a particular geographical area is popular for a goods or a service. So they are attached to that particular place where they are popular. Okay, they are called geographical indicators. Then similarly, the sixth one is plant varieties. Many times the farmers and agriculture research scientists, they create new varieties of plants. That means they artificially they create different types of seeds and then new plant variety they create. Okay, new breed of a plant they create. This is called another time of intellectual property right. Okay, now little more details about all these different types before I close my talk in another maybe another half an hour maximum. Okay, yeah. So now actually patent. Okay, now patent means it's a, as I mentioned, a grant from the government to the patentee for limited period in exchange of full disclosure of the invention for making, using, selling the patented product or process, okay, or authorizing others to do so. Okay, this is called patent. All right. So, but this is given only on full disclosure. So, what are the patent rights that you get now when you get a patent? I'll tell you how to get a patent a little later. But once you get a patent on your invention, okay. So, what actually you mean by a right? So, when you get your right, it will stop others from making. That means nobody else should make it. Only you should make it, or your authorized person should make it. But others should not do it. Okay. If they do it, you will take a legal action on them. So it will stop others from making, offering, putting on the market, or using the product or a process, using or importing a product obtained by a process which is patented. Okay, and of course there are some exclusions for this. I'll just explain later. So these are called patent rights. So therefore now the patents are granted for invention. Invention means what? Okay, because this is a law that we are trying to understand. So whenever we say there is a law, then there'll be all kinds of ifs and buts and rules. So many things will be there, so that it will not be misinterpreted by anyone. So if you see any law statement, only lawyers can understand the language of law. So big sentences they write. Similarly, in this also there are so many things, because whenever some kind of a legality is involved, we need to be very careful in defining it. Otherwise, there will be a lot of conflicts, and then a lot of fighting will be there. So that's how it is defined. So therefore, when you say that your invention is patent, you must clearly define what do you mean by invention. So invention means that a successful technical solution to a problem. And what's the problem? The problem can be a old problem or a new problem, doesn't matter. But whatever you are trying, giving a solution, it should be completely new. Okay. Let us see what do you mean by this one. So generally, patentability means what? When you have an idea or invention, okay, these are the things to be satisfied. One is it should be novel, it should be inventive, and it should have some industrial application, and it should be a non-patentable subject matter. Then only your idea can be patented. And we will see what is the meaning of this in the next slide. Okay. So let us see invention. So there is something called Indian Patent Act 1970. Now you see, for a normal civil and criminal law, you see section so and so. You must have heard of, according to IPC section 320, this person is punishable. He did a criminal, something like that. There are so many sections, and there are so many things in a general civil and criminal code. Okay. Similarly, for patent, since it's also a law, and now the law that we refer in our country is Indian Patent Act 1970. So as per this law, okay, according to section 2IJ, the invention means this. Invention means a new product or process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. This is how invention is defined. Okay, all right, all right. So again, we have to understand what do you mean by inventive step? What do you mean by capable of industrial application? See, there are so many things. Okay, and also in the previous slide we said it should be a non-patentable subject matter. It is not a non-patentable subject matter. Okay, it should be a patentable subject matter. So what do you mean by patentable subject matter? It means this: invention must relate to a process or a product or both. Okay, then only it can be patented. Then it should be completely new or a novel, and it should also involve what is called an inventive step. Okay, so what do you mean by inventive step? We will see little later. And it should be capable of industrial application and should not fall under exclusions of section 3 and 4 of Patent Act. Okay, so under section 3 and 4 they have defined some things which cannot be patented. Okay, we will see them. Some examples I'll give you. So only when it satisfies all this, okay, then only it is patentable. Then only you get a patent. Otherwise, you will not get a patent for your idea or for your invention or innovation. Okay. All right. So provided it satisfies all this, then only the government will give you patent rights. Otherwise, they will not give you. Okay. So now it is more clearly defined what actually you mean by novelty. Okay. What actually you mean by inventive step. So novelty means what? Invention must not be published in India or elsewhere. Then only it is called novel. Okay. It should be completely new. It's not been published already anywhere in the world, in India or elsewhere. Okay. If it is published already, then no. Then there is no novelty in that. Okay. Similarly, invention in public, it should not be in prior public knowledge or prior public use within India or anywhere. Okay. That means when you explain this to somebody, somebody should not say, "Yeah, I already know this." It means they have a knowledge of all this already. If somebody, some experts or somebody says, "No, no, I know already this one, it is already there," then it's not patentable. Okay, or somebody else is already using it, okay, but you are not aware, but you want to file a patent thinking that it is new, okay, but now the government will try to see whether it is already in use, okay, though you are not aware. So then the government will say, no baba, it's already in use by somebody else, no, no, we can't give patent even though it's the original idea, but it's already this idea is already invented by somebody else already before you, so therefore you can't patent it. That's how they say. Okay. And also it must not be claimed or described before in any patent specification in India, or it should not be published in any conference or a journal or anything. Then only we call it as a novel. Okay, this is the meaning of, you see how clearly it is defined. Okay. And similarly, what do you mean by inventive step? Okay, a feature of an invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or has economic significance or both, then only it is called inventive. It should involve some technical advanced knowledge, and also it makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. Okay, that means when you say that I've invented something, when you show this to experts, because anyway you have to fully disclose it. So when you show this to experts and expert says, no, 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 it's already obvious, it is there, because the person who is expert in that field says that it is already there. So it's not nothing new. Okay. So therefore, now it cannot be patented. So therefore, only when it satisfies novelty and inventive step, then only it can be patented. Okay. So now these are the, when you want to patent your invention, okay, what is the use? Okay, that means generally what are the things, and then what are the uses for the inventor, and what are the uses for the public. So I have three slides on this. I'll quickly go through this, but I'll not spend more time in explaining these points, but they are quite obvious. So whenever you patent an invention, so I have already explained to you, patenting means what? You are fully disclosing the idea, including diagrams and everything. It means that adds to scientific research, because till you disclose, it is there in your mind only. Okay, only when you disclose, it is added to the knowledge in the public. Okay, so therefore, till such time, whatever idea you have is not available. So, but when you disclose it, it adds to the existing scientific knowledge. And also, you need not reinvent the wheel. If someone it's already there, okay, then you don't have to try to reinvent the same thing because it's already there. And similarly, for industries who are actually making products, okay, so it gives a very cheaper and better products, because now you know that the, let's say you are making a product, okay, now you came to know that there is a better idea exists for a similar product, or using that idea you can make this product more, much more cheaper, then you can use that idea with the permission. So that way industries can improve the existing technology. Okay, this is possible only when you disclose your idea, otherwise it's not possible. So this is the advantage. Okay, and similarly, public can always have access to the knowledge, and patent can be an international tool. Okay, this is a very important point. Earlier I mentioned that patent is like an asset to you. So therefore, for international business, as a country, if I have a huge number of patents, I can use that as my asset. Okay, like any other asset, like gold or any other asset, my intellectual property rights, IP, is also creative asset, because I can sell my IPRs to other country, I can also trade them with the other IPs. So, like as I mentioned earlier, IPRs also become another standard as on today, a very important property of any country. Okay, that means the kind of invention that we create in our country also can be used for international usage. So these are general things. But now coming to the next thing, what are the benefits of patent to applicant? Let us say I invented something and I got a patent. What are the benefits for me? Is it that government gives me a simple document saying that it is for 10 years nobody should copy? That's not the case. What benefits like? So other than the exclusive right I am getting, so that I can use that my idea to make products, use them, exercise, and then sell them products into the market. All that can be done because I got exclusive right for my idea by the government. So, but if it all I want, I can share my right with others also. Right can be shared when the patentees are more than one. Instead of me, let us say I have now instead of me, there are three friends of mine. Are we collectively invented something? So therefore, that IPR should belong to all three of us, not only to me. Okay, similarly, and as a professor, now if I have invented something, while working in this NIT Warangal, then that right belongs to me as well as to NIT Warangal because NIT Warangal has provided me the facilities to invent something. So therefore, the right also goes to NIT Warangal. Now, suppose if I invent something outside, not in this institute, using the institute facilities, somewhere outside at my home or in some other lab, then that becomes only my right. Okay, but when I do it here, it also belongs to NIT. So like that way. Similarly, all my rights can be licensed or sold for commercial consideration. That is another benefit for me. That means whatever patent right I have got, I can give a license to somebody else. Okay, let's say there is a company, they want to manufacture products using my idea, and I have got patent on that. So I can actually give them permission, okay, to use my idea to create products and sell in the market. So for that, what is that I expect? I expect some royalty in return. That means out of the profit the company is getting using my area, some share they have to give it to me. Okay, that is the commercial consideration that I get. Okay, by sharing my idea with the company people, or by actually, I mean, after getting the right, yeah. So this is the advantage for me. Similarly, I can initiate a legal proceedings against any infringement. Anybody unauthorizedly using my idea without my permission, then I can take a legal action. So these are the advantages for the applicant. Whenever I have a patent, this is advantages for me. And as I told you, patent is one of the IPRs. Similarly, sorry, there is some background sound. Yeah. So these are the benefits for the public. Okay, not for me as a inventor, but for general public. What is the use? These are the advantages. Okay, disclosure of invention adds to scientific knowledge, similar to what I have mentioned, and reasonable assurance are given for commercialization and exploiting your thing. And also a patent becomes open to the public for free use after its term expires. Let us say patent is given for me for 10 years. Okay, that means up to 10 years rights are with me. After 10 years you can freely copy it because it is open now, it is publicly published now, then only I get a patent. But after that particular time period, anybody can copy and use it. That's advantage for the public. Similarly, we can have some kind of a capital investment into new products, and also we can explore unexplored and uncovered areas. That means, let us say, now when you go through several patent documents, you will come across new ideas. Okay, and you think that, oh, these things are also explored. Even I want to explore in this area. So certain things also come out. Okay, so these are the several advantages that public get. Okay, and also before I close discussion on patent or points on patent, it's already 11:05, another half an hour I have. I have mentioned earlier there is something which cannot be patented. They are called non-patentable subject matters. Other than the information that I gave in the previous slides on some about patents, there is also something called non-patentable subject matters. They are come under Section 3 and 4 of Indian Patent Act 1970. So, what are those? Okay, like for example, invention contrary to well-established natural laws. Okay, for example, somebody claims that I have invented a machine, okay, which runs indefinitely, okay, indefinitely without stopping, okay, and forever. Okay, so there is nothing like that. It is against the physics Is against a natural law. If somebody claims, it's only a claim, but it's impossible to create a machine which runs forever, indefinitely. Okay, throughout the lifetime without losses. Okay, if somebody says that I've invented that, no. Okay, it is against the natural law. So obviously, or if somebody says, like it's mentioned that they can have a perpetual machine, or if somebody claims that my machine gives 150% efficiency. Okay, it is against nature. Nobody gets more than 100. In fact, getting 100 out of 100 for efficiency is also, because there will be losses always in any physical system that you see. Okay, so if somebody claims performance is more than 100%, then obviously, okay, we don't have to even look into what that guy is telling, because 100% is not possible. Okay, such things are not patentable. And similarly, according to Section 3B, there are something like, let us say there is some like a drug formula or a gambling. Let's say invented a machine for gambling use. Okay, money gambling, you invented a very fantastic machine. Now, if you want to patent the design that I've invented a gambling machine, government say no, Baba, no. Okay, because it's against the law. Okay, gambling is against law. If somebody says I want to patent a gambling machine design, then government will not no give permission. Similarly, let's say somebody invented a suicide machine. Somebody invented a machine which is easy for stealing, anti-auto theft, and like thing like biological warfare, and then weapons of mass destruction. Okay, something, all these things. Now, even if you have fantastic idea in all these areas, okay, but government will not patent that because it is against the human survival itself. Okay, it is, you are trying to destroy the human endeavors. So therefore, such things will not be patented. So this is what we mean by non-patentable subject matters. Even though you have a fantastic idea by which you create a mass destruction weapon, but government will not. Even though it's a technical idea, superior idea, and nobody else has done that, and you have invented a super bomb, then no. Okay. Similarly, there are several sections in this. Like, so I started with section 3A. There are sections up to 3M, 3L, and 3N also. There are so many sections. I will not go through all that now, but I'm only just giving an idea that there are several things which are excluded from patenting. Remember this. So that's why, as an inventor, you also have to study these things, because sometimes your ideas are not patentable. So you must understand what are those exclusions. Okay. So I will not go to them. I'm giving only few ideas for you that which are excluded. For example, mere discovery of a scientific principle, or a discovery of any living thing, or discovery of a non-living substance occurring in the nature. Okay, so that is exclusion. No, you cannot actually patent it. Let's say you found some substance which for the first time that you are seeing, nobody has seen it, and you want to patent it. No, because it's a natural thing which cannot be patented. For example, Einstein's theorem of relativity. Okay, scientific principle. There are so many things, like you can go through these things. Okay, for example, naturally occurring microorganisms. You want to patent that, I want to patent a bacteria? No, bacteria is already there. Okay, something like that. So there are several things which you can see, but section 3 and 4 are UC knowledge on non-patentable search. So that it's all about patent. So far I've talked about. Now I'll spend little time on other types of intellectual property, like I mentioned geographical indicator, I mentioned industrial design, I have mentioned the copyrights. Okay, I mentioned all the other things. So I'll talk a little more about that, but I'll not spend more time like patents that I have done here, because patent is an important subject matter. So I spent little more time on that, though we can talk hours and hours on patents. Okay. Okay. After that, I also have a discussion on that. I'll come back to that. So now come to the industrial design. So industrial design is nothing but there's a thing called Design Act. As for this, like we have IP Patent Act 1970. Similarly, for industrial designs also, this is also one form of intellectual property right. So there is a law of Design Act 2000. As for this, there's a design defined. Okay, what do you mean by industrial design? It is defined as a shape, configuration, 2D or 3D. Okay, okay, it's a design which is judged by the eye. That's how we see a design. Okay, so such a design is registrable. Okay, you can register that design. Okay, that you have created with the government according to the Design Act 2000, provided it's a new or original design. Okay, if it is not new or original, then again you can't design. You can't register this particular design. Okay, and similarly there are some exclusions. like contrary to the public order or morality, which doesn't contain any obscene matter or scandalous matter, that there can be, no. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you. Then what do you mean by new or original design? Okay. New design means not previously published. Original means known shape of we can use as a, in some other thing. Okay. So originality should involve real mental activity for conception. Okay. So this is actually design means. For example, you see here. Okay. Usually the design is valid for 10 years and you can extend by 5 more years. Of course, in some other countries, the no, year is different. Okay. So therefore, design means how it is appealing to the eye. For example, you see a design of a, you see a design of a calculator, or you see a design of a ring, or you see a design of a coffee machine. Anything that you see with our eye, that's called a design. Okay, which is not to be copied by others. But design doesn't involve principle of operation, mode of construction, trademark, etc. Design means it's only how it appeals to our eye is only design. Okay, so some more points on design, like industrial design means a new differential. It's a product value. For example, a design like this, a car design like this. Okay, it has a, of course, shape of the product or packaging. All these are called industrial designs. For example, here you see a drawing or a design like this. For example, this is a coffee maker machine. So, I mean, you see the shape and you see the configuration and see where the buttons are placed and you see where the outlet is there. So, therefore, nobody should copy this design. That means if there are other companies who makes coffee machines, nobody should produce a similar design. This is called industrial design, and you can register this design with the drawing with the government authorities so that nobody else copies. See, because whenever it appeals easy to our eye, easy to use for people, and it is very good appealing aspect, then we tend to buy it. Okay, so therefore company gets profit because some products are very attractive, some products are not that attractive. How do you make a product attractive? Only by its design. Okay, so therefore, whenever you want to make a product attractive, the design should be appealing to the customer. Okay, so therefore that design now you can register and then prevent others from copying that design. These are called industrial design. Okay, so that's about industrial designs. This is another kind of a intellectual property, right? And according to Design Act 2000, you can always register it. Now the another kind of a intellectual property right, is called trademark. Okay, trademark means it can be a word or a device or a label or a numeral or a combination of all this called a trademark. I'll just show you. So what do you mean by trademark? It should be capable of being represented graphically, okay, on paper, and it should be distinguishable from goods and services. Okay, so there's a definition given for a trademark here. It should be used or proposed to be used in relation to goods or services for the purpose of indicating or so as to indicate a connection in course or a trade between the goods or services. The big definition is given. What actually mean by trademark? Okay, so it's a kind of a name or a symbol which actually identifies a product. It's called a trademark. I'll show some examples. You see here. For example, McDonald's. This is the trademark of McDonald's company, Pepsi, a Hero company, or a Tide, or Havels. Okay, these are all called trademarks. Okay, and nobody should copy this. For example, this is a trademark of Bata company, which manufactures shoes, Bisleri, Surf Excel, and Nike shoes, Coca Cola. Okay, Google. You see, these are called trademarks. That means nobody should copy these things. And then, for example, if there is a company which manufactures shoes and chappals, they should never copy this, and as if like because Bata is very popular, okay, they should never copy this particular design. So let's say somebody has a company, they came up with a spelling like instead of BATA, let's say they have a BATE. Okay, BATE is their company. But if they copy this particular design, how Bata is representing, not design, but trademark, this kind of a way of expressing, then they're actually copying it. Okay, like Tata. So these are called trademarks. So for every product of their company, they have this as a trademark. Nobody else should copy this for their products. Okay, so like Vola, Alpen label for chocolates, something similar to that. So therefore, it should be memorable, easy to pronounce. These are called trademarks. And of course, we should avoid certain things in trademark, like words, like names of the persons, obscenity, religious symbols like Om and Ashok Chakra, common shapes like spear. This should be we should avoid these things as part of your trademark symbol. But of course, you can have words in dictionary, non-dictionary words you can use, custom designs you can use. Okay, so all these things are acceptable trademarks. You can design for your product, and then nobody should copy this. Okay, and that is one type of intellectual property. Now coming to the other category called copyrights. Okay, so when you come to the copyrights, as I mentioned earlier, copyrights are referred to the literary work, movies, films, and songs and sound recordings. For all this, we get what are called copyrights. That means nobody should be, copy this. No, many times, whenever a new movie is released, before the movie release, sometimes we see a trailer leaked into the market. Okay, so then producers can take legal action on people who actually leak the some of the movie recording to them before the movie is released. Okay, so this is called these are called copyrights. So you get copyrights for all such works. Okay, and typically it is given for the lifetime of the creator. Okay, which is called the copyright, right? So you can have multiple rights, you can have neighboring rights. So basically, it protects the skill and labor employed by the author in production of his work. So it is immaterial whether the work is wise, foolish, or accurate or inaccurate. It doesn't matter. That means what? Let's say I write an article on some subject, but when somebody reads, they comment that okay, this is a very foolish article. So it doesn't matter whether whatever I written is foolish or not. But whatever I have written, I can get a copyright on that. Okay, that way it is immaterial about the judgment of the work. Okay, but I get a right on that, so that nobody else copies my thing. So like Harry Potter movies, they have a copyright on that. Similarly, any such serials or movies or dramas, okay, or episodes, okay, we get copyrights on that. Okay. Yeah. So that is now this is another type of a IPR called geographical indicator. Okay. This is another type which I mentioned earlier. So geographical indicator is basically identifies a goods or a service. The goods can be agriculture, natural or manufactured goods. Okay. For which a particular so there is something called a geographical indicator act. Okay, like GI Act 1999. Again, there are several sections. As per this act, we can register certain geographical indicators. I'll give some examples just now. So, for example, it can include any name or geographical area or any combination. And if it is agriculture goods, natural or manufactured goods, or a foodstuff, this can be registered as geographical indicators. I'll give an example, which is agriculture. For example, Darjeeling tea. Okay, it's because Darjeeling is an area where tea is very popular. The tea grown in that area, like Assam tea, Nilgiri tea, Kangra tea. Okay, this is called geographical indicator. That means, so they can register the tea produced in that area by name called Darjeeling tea. Similarly, coffee, rice like basmati rice, Nellore rice, okay, Sona Masuri rice, or you take, like for example, fruits, or you take a vegetable like Bangalore brinjals, or Alfonso, mangoes, like that. So they are popular in that particular area. So therefore, it is called a geographical indicator. So they register that product for that area, which is popular. Okay, all right. Similarly, natural products like Kolar gold, okay, Kota stone, Kadapa stone, Neyveli lignite. These are the products which are manufactured in that particular area. So this is a geographical indicator. That means it's an indicator. Similarly, in textiles, you see Pochampalli saris, and then Mysore silk, okay, and then Kanchipuram silk, okay, and Chanderi saris, Solapur chaddars, okay, and then Kullu shawls, Madurai thing, embroidery, Fulkari embroidery. Similarly, our place Warangal is popular for certain things, like Warangal daris they make here. Okay, like that. So therefore, these are called geographical rights, and they are also called intellectual property rights for the products which are popular in that particular area when they are manufactured there. And similarly, when you come to handicrafts, okay, like toys and all, Tanjore dolls, Tanjore paintings, okay. And similarly, there's a place called in Andhra. There's a place called Vijayawada. They make toys over there called Pandapalli toys. They are very popular there. So these are all called geographical indicators. Similarly, if you take food stuff, okay, like Andhra pickles, Calicut halwa, Agra peta, Calcutta rasgulla, okay, these are actually geographical indicators. So rasgulla is very popular in Calcutta, okay, so they have got a right on that. So nobody should copy their recipe and sell as a Calcutta rasgulla in other areas. Okay, these are called geographical indicators. Okay, so therefore who can register this? Okay, all producers they can register in the or any association of persons can register as geographical indicator as per the law. Okay, so they also get some legal protection for the geographical indication because they prevent unauthorized use of registered geographical indication by others. Okay, it promotes economic prosperity and it enables seeking some kind of a legal protection. For example, I'm showing a photograph of a memento. Near Warangal, there is a place called Jangam or Pembati. They make such handicrafts at our place. So this is a geographical indicator. So they register like this. Okay. And then we can give information on that. This is called Pembati metal craft. Okay. It is valid for certain years. Okay, so let's say there is a dispute whether the who owns Rasagulla, okay, whether Bengal owns or Odisha. Okay, so when it is registered, we'll come to know that. Similarly, last one is plant varieties. So that I'm talking about, where we have farmers' rights is provided to save, use, and exchange from different seeds that they create. For example, there are different varieties of rice, like Sona Musuri rice, Basmati rice. That means there are different, varieties of seeds that agriculture scientists create. That can also be patented. Sorry, not patented. That it can also be get a legal right on that. Call it plant varieties based on Farmers' Right Act 2001. According to this, then we can patent such things so that nobody copies and produces the same thing. Okay. Similarly, when you create an integrated circuit or an IC, electronic circuit, now how you design that electronic circuit, that can also be, get a right on that. They are called layout design of integrated circuits. Okay. The full layout can be, so it can be patented. It can also be, it can also comes under layout design of integrated circuits. Okay. And the last form of IPR is called trade secret. Okay, trade secret means trade secret is a formula or a practice or a process or a design or instrument or a pattern, which can be called as a, okay. For example, take Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, that means the formula of Coca-Cola is now kept very secret. Okay, then nobody knows how Coca-Cola is now manufactured. What all they add in preparing that juice called Coca-Cola. This is their trade secret. Okay, so therefore, trade secret database keeping invention or information very secret, very risky option. If secret is disclosed, the competitive advantage will be lost. Okay, so certain things now can be called as trade secrets. They can also be registered. Okay, so that nobody else copies. But there is no full disclosure here, but it is kept as a trade secret only. Okay, so this is a summary of all these IPRs that I have talked about. Like if it is a patent, we must register it and it's generally valid for 20 years. Some patents are valid for 10 years only. Or if it is a trademark, okay, you can register, you don't have to, it is optional. Okay, but if you register, they give 10 years rights on that. It's an industrial design, you must register it, 10 years you get, and every 5 years you can renew it. Even parent also can be renewed. Same like geographical indicator, 10 years. Copyright, it is a lifetime of the author who created it. And plant protection, 15 or 18 years. Integrated circuit, 10 years. So these are the years for which you get the rights for your thing. Okay, so therefore nobody else now can copy your things based on all these kinds of different IPRs. Okay, based on the time is given. And for example, now let's say there is a product like this. Now, for this particular product, the working mechanism can be patented. This whole design can be under Design Act, and the name like Sony, Ericsson, and Motorola, it can come under trademark. And whatever manual I prepare, that how it works and specs and everything, that can be called as a copyright. Understood now? So for a given product, I can have a patent, I can have a design right, I can have a trademark right, I can have a copyright. All can be applicable for a product like this. Okay, so though all are different, but I can have these kinds of IPRs, intellectual property rights, I get for a single product. So it varies. Understood now? So depending on the kind of a product, I can have combination of all these IPRs, or I can have only one patent. Okay, it depends on that. Okay, so in our country, maybe I'm just closing to one or two slides. Maybe next 5 minutes I'll close my talk, 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, maximum. So we have what is called a Controller General of Patent Designs and Trademarks, CGPDTM. This is the highest body, and we have what is called a patent office. Now we have patent offices in Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, and Mumbai. So whenever you want to have an IPR, you have to approach these offices in Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, or Mumbai. You have to approach them. Okay, then only you get your patent rights or any trademark rights. For example, all these people deal with patents. They also deal with the design office. There's a design office in Kolkata, and there is also a patent office in Nagpur, and there's also trademark registry. Okay, and we are also called GI registry maintained in Chennai office. Okay, and trademarks are handled by Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Ahmedabad offices. So these are the offices we have to approach if at all you want to get any of the intellectual property rights. Okay, so we can have online, we can have offline, and there are also some people like patent agents, patent agencies, or patent attorneys, okay, through which you can also file for a things. But basically this is the office, this is the authority which gives you that. Okay, for example, for Chennai, this is the office. Okay, Intellectual Property India IP patent office, it is there in Chennai. These are the numbers and this is a website. Okay, and you can approach them to register patents, and this is a process. Okay, so if at all you want to file a patent, I'm talking about only patent. Similar forms exist for other IPRs as well, like trademarks and design. For patent, you need these forms to be filled and submit into the office, like Form 1, which is called the application for grant, Form 2 called provisional specification, Form 3 called statement of undertaking, Form 5 called declaration of inventorship, Form 26 called form of authorization, Form 18 called request for examination, Form 9 called request for publication, Form 28 called. There are so many other forms as well. I'm giving you important forms to be filled in. So once you fill these forms and then you submit to this office, either by individual through online, or you approach them physically, visit their office, or you go through some patent agents by filling the forms, then they will examine and then give you patent. So this is a flow, and typically you will get anything from up to up to 5 years, sometimes even 10 years also takes for you to get, but this is a process. Okay, so once you submit, they do a what is called a novelty search. Okay, they will find out whether whatever you are claiming already exists or not, whether it's already published or not. That is called novelty search. Then the filing procedure will be there. Then after they will publish. Okay, they will publish it in the open website. Okay, so that everybody can go through it. And then if it is all, if somebody is already done it, then people can do it. So that's called publication. Your patent gets published. After some time, then only it will be granted. So you must understand, patent publishing is different, patent grant is different. So therefore, if you pay some money, it gets immediately published. Okay, usually they take maximum of 18 months, and if you pay little more money, you can also get published within 2 months also. Okay, or within 1 month also. Okay, I'll show you some of those timelines. So you file it, then they publish it, and then after publishing, there is something called pre-grant opposition. That means once you publish in public domain, when people see, then they may oppose it, saying that no, it's already there. Okay, then there are some initial procedures, hearing, decision, and then they may refuse that thing. So once you publish in public domain, because you have to fully disclose it, then several people will go through it, and some people may oppose it, saying that it's already there. So again, there is some procedure that takes place. Okay, there is some hearing in the court take place, IP court, and they can take some decision. Okay, and if they find it's already there, then they refuse it. So let us say there is no opposition, then it goes to next stage called request for examination. So patent office people will examine it, and then they will give the examination report. Okay, so they will write so many things, like this clause is there, that clause is there, and this procedure, what you explained in your form is already there in so and so document, or already invented by somebody. Please give your reply to it. Like that, they'll give a report, and typically they give an examination report anything within 4 years. Okay, it's a long process. So once you sometimes, if you want a very quick report, you can give some money, like how we have a Tatkal scheme. in reservation or many other thing like that. In this also there is a scheme where if you pay more money, you get a very quick report. Okay, then you can file a response to that. Then they will go through that. Then finally they may grant it. Then they give a notification that your patent is granted. So this is the process that we usually follow, and these are the typical price you have to follow. I mean, you have to pay like 600 rupees for form 1, and form 3, form 2 no fee, but form 9, like I've explained, if you want a quick examination, 2500 you have to pay. Form 18 you have to 4000, totally around 8000 rupees you have to pay to go normal. For your person or a startup, this is the money you have to pay. But if you are a small company, this is the money you have to pay. So totally, it will cost around 20,000 if it is a small company. Okay, but if you want a speedy examination, like filing form 18, they'll process very quickly. So it is pay more money. But if you don't want a speedy examination, it should go to normal money, normal process. Then you don't have to pay more money. So you have to understand all this. Like if it's an institute, then this is the money you have to pay. And also there are some concessions given nowadays by the government. Okay, so this is about the intellectual property rights, and mostly on patents. So I think I'll conclude my talk. For anything, whether it is innovation or intellectual property rights, you should become aware. Okay, understand thoroughly, you plan and do some research background study, and then you commit your efforts, and then you do a continuous effort, you have some perseverance, and then only you get results. Okay, so I think that's all from my side, and I think I almost spent full time. In between we have some interruption of about 10 minutes, but however I could have given more examples on this. Thank you all for your attention, and that's the end of my talk. If there are any small queries, I can address now, and you can always write to me. My email ID is you can take from the organizers. I'll also share my PPT to your organizers. You can always write to me if at all you think that can help you in this area. Okay. So thank you all. That's the end of my talk, and open for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for spending your time from your busy schedule and listening to your results.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for enlightening our young minds with your works. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just stop sharing screen. Yeah. If any one or two queries are there, I can address. Otherwise, thank you all once again for your attention. If there are no questions, I can take leave, or if you have one or two questions, I can address.
Good morning, sir. This is Pravas Nandi from Odisha of CSC department. So
Okay.
my question:
Yeah.
what do you think about the ethics of IPR? Like companies using them solely for the purpose of making a monopoly or anything else?
Uh, it was not very clear to me. Can you repeat, please?
Sir, my question was that what do you think about the ethics of IPR? Like
Huh.
companies use them solely for the purpose of making a monopoly or anything else?
Huh. So the question is about the ethics of IPR. You was asking. Okay. So ethics of IPR actually means that see, what you have to do is, when you think that you would like to have an intellectual property right of any of these forms that I have talked about. Okay. So what you are supposed to do before going ahead with saying that I have this idea, I've invented this, I have something like that. Before that, you have to do a proper literature search. You have to do a lot of search. That means you have to go to the IP database of any of these IPRs. Let us say you are trying to file a patent, or you are trying to register industrial design, or you are trying to register a trademark. So whatever the kind of IPR, first you should go through the existing knowledge and see whether any person has already done it or not. Okay, only then you should go ahead in filing, go for a filing procedure. But if you see that there is an amount of overlap in your idea, or there is already something done, then we should never go for publishing it. Otherwise, it will attract unnecessary legal action. So ethics means this only. You should never copy others' idea and then claim like as if it is your own idea and then try to publish it. But of course, whether you are trying to publish it openly and trying to file a patent, or you are using for a personal use. Let's say if you are using for a personal use, as long as it's not to the public eye, then there's no problem. But once somebody notices that you are copying their idea, then you are into legal troubles.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good morning, sir.
Good
So
morning.
this is Harshita from CSC, from Bharatpur, Rajasthan of CSC department.
Hmm.
Sir, uh, what what is your advice for people who have a lot of ideas for innovation but do not have enough time to explore them?
Huh, yes. So the question is interesting. People have ideas, but enough time. So no, see, there are actually the conflicting thing. You have idea, but you don't have time. Is something. See, when you have a lot of ideas, that you have when you have to really get excited that you have a lot of ideas. So one thing is the teamwork. So always you should share your ideas with other people, because when you are sitting alone with your ideas and then keep thinking only on your idea, you should never come out with. Okay. So only thing is that, like I mentioned, the way to improve your creative ability, you should start working on your idea. Either, I mean, my advice is that never work alone on your idea. Always have a team. See, when you have a team, there are persons around you who adds value to your idea, who can always criticize your idea so that whenever you go wrong. So therefore, see, the question is that you have ideas but you don't have time is something you have to sit, you have to commit your time, make yourself available to implement the idea. Or when you have an idea but you don't have time, please share your idea to others so that at least they can share, they can do that. Or if your authorities do not have time to encourage your ideas, okay, then the only way that you can go ahead with your ideas is only to have your own team and approach other sources when your own authorities don't have time to mentor you or to take your idea forward. But however, your commitment is required to work on your idea. It can be very simple idea. I mean, it's not always you have to come up with out of the blue, or all the way some fantastic idea. No, even simple ideas matter many times. Okay, so therefore, my suggestion is only that when you have a lot of ideas, okay, you just narrow down to few ideas, because many times what happens, you have so many ideas, you don't know where to start with. Okay, many times you simply waste your own time thinking about only ideas but not actually doing it. That's why I always say that please don't tell, but work on it. Okay, and work on it. Okay, instead of talking about your idea, please work on your idea. Take any one idea to start with. Okay, and then have your own group and then start working on it. Start working on means what? Come out with a description of your idea, and then start making rough sketches of your idea, and then start collecting information on what material you require to implement an idea. This is that. So I'm not sure whether you all have design thinking course in your curriculum, but this is one process and approach by which you implement your ideas into real world products. Okay. So if you have design thinking, please register for that course. I'm sure you all have design thinking course usually offered in first year itself. But if you don't have design thinking course, probably maybe you impress your authorities so that you can have some guest lectures on design thinking, or we can have a workshop on design thinking, which will actually help you in executing your ideas into a real products. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Tushar from Computer Science Department.
Maybe just be closer to the mic, because I can hear. I could hear that girl very clearly, but your voice is not. Maybe be closer.
Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I
Yes,
audible?
yes, yes, of course. Yeah. Now it's
Yes,
clear.
sir. Sir, I desire to inquire that you said that in India, uh, the intellectual property rights we cannot patent for weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
So then how are the rights of the various missiles like BrahMos and Tejas developed by the DRDO
or the nuclear weapon developed by the Manhattan Project are secured? I want to ask that,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's an interesting question. That means, so I can see people are listening to me and then trying to follow me. That's what I understood. Yeah, that's a good question. See, yeah. So let us say come to the let us. I'll come to the product first. So the product is the missile is a product that you have in question, and the product is of the nature of mass destruction. Exactly. But now the product is manufactured by whom and for what purpose is something that we have to understand here. And typically, anyway, missile designs are never patented because they are supposed to be very classified designs, very supposed to be very secret designs. So usually, designs like nuclear armament, nuclear bombs, or missiles, or any fighter plane design or bombers design, which are given by the defense organizations or any such government organizations which come under defense research, for that matter, spy satellites and satellite designs, they are never patented, number one. And also, they are manufactured by the government, not by individual people. So now, when you come to the nature of the product that we are talking about, like the missile that you talked about or the fighter aircraft that you talked about, they are basically weapons of mass destruction. Okay, but they are manufactured for the purpose of what? For the purpose of survival of our own country and done by the government. But if the same is now manufactured by an organization called individuals, okay, or individuals of unauthorized organization. So when I refer to individuals, I mean the missiles manufactured by terrorists, or when I meant by organization of unauthorized persons means I'm talking about terrorist organizations. So if it is done by these people who are actually outlawed people, and according to the government, they are actually antisocial elements. So if any of these things are done by those people, okay, so then obviously they are punishable, and then that is actually called, in the strict sense, a weapon of mass destruction. But a weapon of mass destruction by the government for the safety of the people of the country, and for the safety of our own country, to protect it from the other countries from invasion and wars and other things. Definitely, that's where actually we differentiate the weapon of mass destruction, in what way it is used. It is for the welfare and safety of the people, or it is for the purpose of just killing the people by antisocial element. I think that's where we differentiate. I mean, I think this is what I can tell you at this point of time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any more queries? I think there are no queries.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. There are no queries.
Okay. Okay. So thank you all. I look forward, to see you in future. Later on, if at all you think that I can help you in some way, you can always invite me. I'll be happy to spend some time with you later on in any of the things. Thank you for your attention. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you all permit me, I'll just log out. Can I log out, please? Yeah. Thank you. See you all later. Bye.
Durga Mehta from third year is backside. You can. Coming to the list of clubs, we have 8 clubs, namely Aesthetic Club, Yoga Club, Dance Club, Photography Club, Literary and Debating Club, EBSB Club, Music Club, and Media Club. Now coming to the Aesthetic and Fine Arts Club. Aesthetic and Fine Arts Clubs of IIITT Chapalli is focused to bring out the artistic and creative side of the person. The club coordinators regularly activities and competitions for the people to showcase their skills apart from the academics. Faculty coordinator for the aesthetic club is Dr. S. Redka Devi ma'am. CSC fourth year, and Elagonda Bhargavi from EC third year, and Prakrti Prabhakar from CSC second year, and Mithil Bhavesh Seth from CSC second year. These are the photographs which were of the previous events and the all are of the contest like origami and the two shades which were took place in the previous semester. Now coming to the literary and debating club. The literary and debating oration club is established to provide the students the opportunity to liberate their thoughts and act as a platform to voice their opinions and share oratory skills. Here in this club, you can overcome your stage fear and you can improve and enhance your communication skills by uh, by coming on the stage and participating in debate etc. activities. The faculty coordinator is Dr. V. Sindhu ma'am, and student volunteers are Dimya from CSC fourth year, S. Kishan from CSC third year, these are some of the photographs of which took place in the last semester. And now coming to the EBSB club. EBSB club is is known as the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat Club, which holds together the diverse cultures of our country. The coordinator of EBSB club is Dr. R. Krishnamurthy. The student volunteers are Tejasvi Raide from EC fourth year, Divyashekar PM from EC fourth year, Samuel Nadal from EC third year, Hitanshu Kaushik from EC third year, Cherkuri VLN Karthik from EC second year, Manisha Das from EC second year. These are the photographs of the student exchange tour program between in IIITT Pune, where our students went to IIITT Pune for the program of student exchange tour. And these are the photographs which we took in our campus regarding cleaning the premises of our college and planting a tree on the event of Swachhta Pakwan. The faculty coordinator of dance group is Dr. R. Student volunteers are B. Satvika from fourth year, CSC fourth year, Amulya Malotu from EC third year, Ramya S from EC second year, Gugula Tagore from EC second year. These are some of the events which took part in previous events, and flash mob was one of the main events. Flash mob was one of the events which took in last semester. You can see the glimpse of the event. Okay, guys, we can bind up the session. You can leave for the lunch.